Hey everybody, Will Fix here. Got this video I promised you yesterday that I'm putting together, and every once in a while you run across some content that I can't do it justice, and rather than directly like rip him off and act like it's my content, this is my friend Josie, and I would never do that to him, but he's a highly educated man. And he also is such a deep dive research analyst. He really is fantastic. He's been able to put together several ideas in the past before it all came out by connecting where people are connected with people, and then come out with sort of a prediction, a conspiracy, a whatever you want to call it, putting the puzzle together. He's so good at that. It is fantastic. If you don't know about his channel, Crypto Maximus, then you're going to learn about it today. And most of this content is going to be him talking, and then I'm going to give you the link at the end of the video where you can go to his site and get the whole video. The whole video is over an hour long, but I thought I would give you the juicy stuff, which is right up front, and make your own evaluation. And whenever I'm showing videos like this, I'm not declaring that's the way it's going to be. You know, whenever we're reporting stuff that hasn't really happened or it's just a rumor, you know, like people are still talking about that it's a rumor that Apple is using Jasmy. Well, it was also a rumor that Jasmy and Panasonic were going to work together, but then it came out to be true, didn't it? Well, we've seen a price spike in Jasmy, and then we've seen another spike today, and that's after all of the, hey, this is just a rumor. Well, I believe it'll be confirmed, and if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. So take this with a grain of salt, but look at these fascinating connections. This is really an XLM video, not a Jasmy video, and not a X.com video. This is an XLM video. I want you to see this because this alone would cause XLM to go to the moon, because it would be worldwide coverage. Now, I know many of you think that it'll be other coins, and it could be. It could be that it's going to be several different choices of even some of the meme coins that Elon Musk has mentioned in the past. Or it could be Stronghold, or it could be, several different companies. We can make our own analysis. Maybe we'll do a show on each one of those and show why those are also a possibility. Anyway, let's just take a look at this and just be decent with me. Decent. All right, and and just watch the video. Tell me what you think. Again, I'll put the link to the original video at the end of this little sneak peek of about 12 minutes, and you're going to be fascinated. You're going to enjoy it. So take a look at it. Without delay, let's go ahead and get to it. Isn't that an awesome thumbnail he made? XLM AI, a global Venmo, Stellar, and Elon there. It looks fantastic. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
Please smash the like. Let's trigger that YouTube out.
Oops, let me turn it up.
Algorithm, and let's share with you what is about to be presented. So there's this interview, obviously Jed McCaleb, Charlie Shrem, and I do feel as though it was more than important. What is it? Here it is.
This thing that we're working on is is kind of above the protocol. It's this consumer wallet for people to actually use Stellar, which I'm pretty excited about. It's essentially, you can kind of think of it like a global Venmo, where it's allows you to do cross-border payments, save money in dollars in places where they have really high inflation, things like that. So it should be really useful for people, and it's got a really awesome UI, and doesn't really expose the fact that you're using crypto, which I think is cool. So like, you know, your grandma or whatever should be able to use it. Anyone who can use Venmo should be able to use this thing.
And will it like connect with local companies, you know, like M-Pesa or whatever?
That's the idea. Like it's because it leverages sellers' interoperability. Like any financial institution can kind of get on and they can interoperate with the users of this wallet. And we use, you know, financial institutions kind of all over the world to be the fiat on and off for this thing. So if you're in Argentina and you want to load up Argentine pesos, you go through a partner there that does it, right? So, and this can allow the thing to kind of grow organically and be useful all over the planet.
Grow organically, be used all over the planet. Right at the beginning, he talks about Venmo, okay? So Venmo should be one of your key things in regards to when we get more further into this outline tonight. With that said, I want to jump into this next particular part because you got to keep in mind some of the things that was mentioned, okay? So let's pull this up. This comes from a site called Prior Data, all right? I'll show you some statistics and why it's important. So from the site, you will see cited here on the citation, excuse me, Venmo net worth, revenue, valuation, and stats. What year? 2024. Why is this all important? We're going to get into it all. When was this last published? January 19, 2024. But what you're going to see here, like we know, Venmo is kind of like the Cash App. You know what I mean? I use both. But what's really interesting is when you see some of the things here in regards to, you know, this highlight, okay? Venmo, like you see on the screen, let's go ahead and full screen that as well. It mentions that they were acquired by PayPal, okay, for $800 million in 2013. It is now estimated to be worth around $38 billion, all right? Now we understand Elon Musk and the whole thing of PayPal, right? But what's really interesting when you get more into the overview of this, you know, Venmo was actually launched in 2009. You have, for instance, software engineers, managers, all sorts of stuff. But the key stats, Venmo's estimated annual revenue for 2023, you know, that's a huge number, is it not? Yeah, that's 2.4 billion. I don't know why they list it as 2,400 million. The estimated annual payment volume for Venmo is 298 billion. That was back, you know, on that 2023 report. Venmo is estimated to have 85.1 million users in 2023. And there's a whole bunch of other stats, right? You know, listing revenue, all this stuff. This outline isn't just really focusing on, you know, Venmo, but I wanted to point out some of these things, okay? And getting more into this, here is something I also want to share. Now, your key takeaway, again, should be what Jed McCaleb shared, okay? He mentioned specifically, and I have the quote, that way I don't have to pull up the video again. Stellar will be used as a global, quote-unquote, Venmo, and it doesn't expose that you're using crypto. You and your grandma should be able to use it. Anyone who has used Venmo should be able to use this thing. Any financial institutions can get on and use fiat on and off this thing. Can grow organically or be used all over the planet. Now, when I see statements like that, you know, it's like, all right, I understand it. I get it. A lot of YouTubers, influencers, researchers, and so on have done the typical thing, and I'm guilty of it too. And that is, you know, Jed McCaleb, vast. That stands out, especially when it comes to Elon Musk. But when I went down the rabbit hole, it opened up so many more things than just, you know, Jed McCaleb, Elon Musk, and vast, okay? So when you see this, I want to put out a disclaimer right now, for the record. For me personally, I've been pretty consistent that I've stated that Stellar is my number 2. And if anything, this is going to solidify, at least in my eyes. None of this is financial advice. Just present you guys information, research. Do with it as you choose. That's what you got to do at the end of the day. But my key thing was recognizing these bold statements. You know, there's going to be a lot that could happen for the future with anything. But what about specifically Stellar? And what about specifically Elon Musk, like everybody's been waiting for, Will he choose Stellar, XLM, for example, compared to all these other ones? For me, I think the answer is truly yes. And I could be wrong, but I'm going to stand by why I believe that and present to you guys my research on what I have found other than just the typical, the vast connection and stuff like that because of SpaceX. So again, if this research is your thing, especially when it comes to Stellar, smash the like. Let's get into this. I think it's very, very important. So that quote from Jed McCaleb, right, of Stellar, and by the way, many other companies, you know, it's a bold statement, especially with the interview with Charlie Shrem of Investor Place. But you also got to keep in mind some of these statements, and I'll full screen this. Venmo does not work internationally. Interesting. You know, it says that to open a Venmo account in the first place, you'll need to be like physically located in the United States with a United States dollar bank account, local U.S. phone number, etc., right? And, you know, when you hear that statement again from McCaleb about the whole thing, that Stellar will be a global Venmo, well, understand that that in itself is profound. That is amazing because, you know, when we talk about supply and demand kicking in, well, what ones will take off when you finally get, as some people say, that moment where that demand kicks in, right? And that's where it's at for me. I want to talk about something real quick before we kick it into more of a solid outline, and that is, you know, this whole topic of a global Venmo and Jed McCaleb's statements. You know, for a lot of us in retail, sounds cool, but what is the real true significance behind the whole thing of, you know, a global Venmo and Stellar? Like, where do they move forward when it comes to this? Well, the key difference between Stellar and, of course, Venmo, you know, is their reach and their functionality. Hear me out on this. You'd be glad you did. Bottom line is two main things in regards to functionality. It is global versus US only. Venmo currently restricts its services, of course, to the US, requiring a US bank account, like we pointed out, phone number, and so on. Stellar, on the other hand, aims to be a global platform, accessible to anyone regardless of location. Hence why they have that slogan, banking the unbanked. Crypto versus traditional finance, you know, you got to keep in mind, Venmo operates within the traditional finance system, linking with, of course, you, me, and everyone else's bank account here in the United States. Stellar embraces cryptocurrency and aims to act as a bridge between crypto and fiat currencies. You know, which is what? Traditionally, or I should say traditional government issued money. We get that. But the overall significance of this is that there's a potential for wider adoption. And listen to this. By being global and crypto friendly, Stellar in itself has a potential for wider adoption on a greater scale than Venmo could ever even believe. It could tap into the growing international market for digital payments and cater to users who prefer crypto transactions. Is this a disruptive technology? Well, you better believe it is. You know, it's a disruption of traditional finance. If successful, Stellar in themselves could disrupt the way international payments are currently handled, potentially offering faster, cheaper, and more accessible transactions. Now, like in anything, there's going to be challenges, of course, for Stellar. And, you know, all these things are also worth pointing out. It's not just, hey, here's nothing but positive news. But some of the challenges, in a nutshell, are these two. And that is mainstream adoption, as we know. You know, the people say that Stellar price doesn't move. We're not at mainstream adoption yet. But despite aiming for easy use, cryptocurrencies in themselves are still a relatively new concept for many. Yeah, no kidding. Building trust and user comfort with crypto transactions will be absolutely crucial for Stellar's success. But what about somebody else's success who's already successful? Yeah, the great Elon Musk Had to make sure I said it right, not the other guy, right? But the other key thing to get into tonight is regulation. And I'm not oblivious to the notion that the United States is still not there when it comes to proper crypto regulations. And a lot of people feel as though when it happens, that's when the utility run will kick in. I get it. I see a lot of complaints from people from the community and so on. Not necessarily you guys, but random people posting, I should have just invested in meme coins and AI because those are the ones that are currently doing well. But you want to know something? You will regret in the future that you didn't take more of a further look into Stellar. And again, let's get more into why that is. So, this whole thing of regulation, the ever-evolving regulatory landscape surrounding cryptocurrencies could pose challenges, of course, for Stellar's operation and growth. But I want everybody to understand, comparing the highlights of Stellar, Venmo, it's this vision of a global cryptocurrency-based platform akin to the user-friendly Venmo. Like, you already have people that have bought into that concept of instant cash, right? How do we take it to the next level? Well, the next level and answer would be Stellar. Pulling up some actual research, let's take you to an article which was actually from India, ironically. I want to share this with you, and if this doesn't catch your attention, nothing will. Don't mean that any disrespectfully, but it is worth pointing out. On this printed article from January 16th of this year, it states Elon Musk X to introduce peer-to-peer payment system in mid-2024. Now, we're not quite to mid-2024 yet. In my opinion, mid-2024 would be like roughly around June. But the bottom line is what you see here. Significant development, Elon Musk's social media platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, obtained a money transmitter license from Utah on Monday. Marks Utah as the 15th state in the U.S. to grant approval, positioning the company to delve into offering payment features. Utah's approval, granted at least then, as reported by the nationwide multi-state licensing system and registry, provides X with capabilities akin to PayPal's Venmo. Again, if you miss some of this stuff, you can always go back and watch the beginning. It's crucial that you understand why you need to watch it all. This authorization empowers the platform to facilitate secure money transfers, laying the foundation for users to seamlessly send money to one another within the social media ecosystem. And of course, I'm following this particular gentleman. But, like he says, social media platform X took a step closer by offering payment features after receiving a transmitter license from a 13th and 14th U.S. state, at least back in January. And of course, there's a slew more of these. Jed McCaleb and Elon Musk, like it says, have a partnership that's literally out of this world, says this guy, right? And we understand that the whole thing of vast, obviously, is a big deal. And I would never deny that. But I wanted to get more into this whole thing and why I feel as though, wow, look what I found. Why I want to share it.
You need to watch the rest of his video. Click the link that I've put up there, and also click the link and get yourself a decent wallet. There's my commercial. I hope that satisfies all of the opposers. And I thought about, listen to what I thought about doing. I thought about doing things like putting in clips where I come up, come into the picture, like decent, or come up and go decent, or that every time I said that I tried to sew in the word, to be a decent person and then put up the decent wallet logo. And I'm just having fun with a couple of the people that got upset that I was doing decent wallet commercials. Here at the end, I am going to add a decent wallet commercial. I'm going to add one here in just a minute. So I've got the video up here, and the last minute is going to be a decent wallet commercial, okay? So I'm going to put it in there. So you can stop now if you don't want to see it. As you guys know, I use the decent wallet. I've used several wallets, mini wallets, about 5 different wallets I've used. This is by far the best in my opinion. It's easy to use. It's as safe as you keep your seed phrase. You can put all of your coin in there. All of the ones that I need are in there, and it's simple. On the Nano Ledger, I had to create a wallet and do some weird stuff to get some coin in there. It just felt uncomfortable. This is really easy. It also will Bluetooth with your phone, and the app that they provide that you can download, you get the whole screen of your phone to use to view your coin. They have trading tools on there as well. And I don't know if you've seen, but they also have a card. Study the card and see if that fits your needs. Anyway, use the link in the description. It'll save you some money if you need a wallet, and it's there for you to use.